everybody. I'm Cassidy, one of your Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders, and you're watching the Bleav in Colts podcast.
Welcome back to Bleav in Colts. I'm Lawrence Owen, and as usual, we're here at training camp with my credentials, and I'm discussing it with a lot of people right now about how I see training camp unfolding. There's a lot of stuff to unfold here, including the interviews. Yes, the interviews that we have seen since we've been here on Sunday. That was a sold-out media, and I was there with my cam and even got a couple questions in. I was very excited. Thank you to Colts organization for allowing this to happen. And hey, I'll tell you what, I just want everyone to know that BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports teams, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online source for all your sporting information, from live in-game betting to props and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So let's get into it right now. We've got 4 interviews to get through, and they are very, very good. We got Frank Reich, we got Matt Ryan, we got Grover Stewart, we got Zaire Franklin. We're going to kick it off with Frank Reich right here.
Okay, exciting day out here, right? Another sold-out crowd, a lot of energy, and bringing the heat, right? Literally the heat, but the fans brought the heat, so good practice, some things to clean up. We'll clean those up, but good work today, and looking forward to getting back out here tomorrow.
Frank, did you get any word on Curtis Brooks? Looked like he left.
Got poked in the eye, but we should be good.
Frank, Stephon Gilmore has been around the ball this whole camp. What did you anticipate you were getting with him? He had a lot of injuries the last couple of years, and then can you contrast that to what you've seen?
He just, I can just tell you from a quarterback's perspective, he's the kind of cornerback you fear because the way he sees the game, he knows what's coming before it's coming. He's so quick to recognize routes, concepts, and then he has the ability to make plays on the ball, and turn it over. So that's what we've seen from start to finish. Love him, love the player, love the person, love how he's fitting in with this team. Really feel like he's helping our defense and helping our secondary to elevate to a new level for us.
On the same front, Unique is the other big name addition on defense. I'm sure you went to Gus back in February or March and said, what can you tell us about him? What did you know then, and what have you learned the last couple of weeks about him?
One of the things that you can tell from Unique, last year, I think I might have mentioned this one time way back when, but he's with the Raiders for 1 year, and he's the defensive captain, right? I mean, that tells you something. So he's got this infectious energy to him. He is a relentless effort guy, and then he's just got explosive talent. So, and that's been proven. The production is there; it can't be argued with. So, and just love his attitude. I love his attitude. Whether he's making plays or even if he's getting beat, he's just got this relentless attitude that I think all of our guys do have, but he's definitely going to be a leader on our defense.
Was it a long discussion to make that trade?
No, it really wasn't. And, because with Gus and then, Chris had relationship, right, with all around with Marinelli, and that was a huge piece. The Marinelli factor was, because he's the best, right? And so and Marinelli's report on Unique was off the charts. So,
Frank, you talked about the value that Gilmore's bringing to the defense. What's it doing to a Pittman and Pierce and Campbell to go against him every day?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, right, that's just a universal principle, right? That when when you're challenged, the more you're challenged, the harder it is, and the more you have to figure out how to win, right? This game ultimately, like we always say, comes down to one-on-one matchups, and how am I going to win my one-on-one matchup? And so when you go up against a guy like Gilmore, you're just challenged because half the time he knows what you're doing, and you still got to find a way to win. And so I think the receivers have been doing a decent job of that. We won our shares versus Gilly, but he's definitely challenging us all to get better.
Frank, how would you evaluate Jelani Woods so far?
I think I see him more and more of him every day. You can just tell he's getting more and more comfortable, with the offense. He's playing faster and faster. You can see big, long speed. You see it out there. And ball's not always going to him, but I'm really excited about the upside that he brings. And I'm excited about what he's doing as a blocker. He's he's getting better there. I think Clayton's working hard with him, and it means something to him, so he's working hard to become a better blocker.
You said there's a lot to clean up. There's things to clean up. There's clean up every day, but teamwork a little less efficient by the offense today?
Yeah, we had like 5 or 6 drop passes. That was more than we've had the whole training camp. I don't know, we talked about that for a second, but what we said is, right, you want, when you start the season, you want everything, you want the arrow just to keep going up, up, up. It seldom does that, and today, at least offensively, we'll look at the film. I'm sure there were a lot of good things, but too many drops today and a few miscues here and there. So we'll clean those things up. There's still a lot of positives. We'll clean those things up. That's part of it. Learning how to focus over a sustained period of time.
Is Ogletree as far along is Ogletree having as good of a camp as it might look like from time to time?
I think he is. I think Drew has come in, and what was evident right away was just seemed like he knew what he was doing right away.
He doesn't seem lost or scared.
Right. There was never any ramp-up time. It just seemed like he fit in right from the start. So now the challenge is, to keep getting better from here. You come in, you handle it the right way, you look like you belong, but now you got to keep getting better and play winning football, not just play good football. And I think Drew is showing that, and I'm really happy he's here.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the offensive line so far in camp, specifically the tackle group?
Very encouraged. Braden's looked very good. Matt Pryor had a good day today. Matt Pryor, I thought, had a good day today from when I was isolating on him. So I think Strauss has done a good job with those guys. Obviously Dennis Kelly got hurt. He was doing pretty well. And the young guys are progressing as well. Bernard's looking better and better each day. So we got to keep fighting. Again, they're being challenged every day, so it's been good on both sides.
Any update on Kelly? Is he going to miss more time, or
Dennis? Yeah, I'm not quite sure at this point. Yeah.
Guys, let's go.
Thank you.
Matt, I know you got high standards, and Frank was saying there's a lot to clean up today. Just what did you see from you?
Yeah, certainly mistakes, by us as well, but that's part of it. That's why we practice. We're out here, pushing ourselves to get better and to improve. And we've had some really good days. We've had some days where we haven't been quite up to the standard, but that's how this season's going to go. It's not going to be just smooth sailing all the way. So days like today are good to learn from. I also think there's a lot of positives too. Whenever you go back and watch the practices, there's things we can clean up, but a lot of good things we did as well. And our defense is playing well, and that's good to see. We're going against a really good unit with talented players, and that's going to make us get better, and it's good. Unfortunately, you're going to have days where they get you sometimes. They got us a few times today. We got them a few times, but that's what good teams do. There's back and forth and give and take.
Sorry, one of those guys is Gilmore, and he got you today. Frank said as a quarterback, he's a corner that you fear. What's it like going against him every day? And you've played some great corners. What do you see in him that makes him good?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the first time he's picked me off. So he's good. He really is, and he's got excellent pattern recognition. Really good savvy, good ball skills. He's talented, and he's one of those guys who sometimes can put a seed of doubt, in your mind of what he's going to do. Is he going to break on something? Is he going to, kind of give you something? So With guys like that, I've played against a lot of them in my career. You have to be really accurate and you have to make good decisions, but it's going to force us to get better. I mean, it really is, and that's really good work for our wide receivers. It's really good work for me. Honestly, going against good players all the time sharpens your skills, and we're certainly fortunate to have him here.
Now with a new team, obviously new personnel, do you feel like the preseason means a little bit more than it normally would for a 36, 7-year-old quarterback?
I mean, honestly, I've always felt like it was important, and different coaches and different years have different points of emphasis, but I've always felt like there's a lot of work that gets done this time of the year, some of it in games, some of it in practices, and so I don't really think my approach has changed all that much throughout my career.
Do you want to play in the preseason?
I've always liked getting out there, getting some reps and doing those kind of things, but that's not my call. That's up to Frank and Chris, and they've got to determine what's best for the team.
So last year was kind of odd not playing preseason?
Yeah, I mean the last 2 years have been odd. I mean, the year before that we had no preseason games too, so yeah, I don't know how else to answer it.
How do you handle drops when a receiver has a drop or two in a practice?
Yeah, I mean, my thing has always been physical mistakes happen. We've got to limit them, and that's what we work all the time on. Developing, our physical skills, but it happens. And you got to move past it. And you got to believe you're going to make the play the next play. And so, the mental mistakes are more the things I get hung up on, and those are the things we have to nip in the bud. Those are the things we can control. We're all human. There's going to be times where you make a mistake, or physically you just don't make I'm going to throw a bad ball. It happens. We want to limit that for sure, and that's why we work so hard. But it's more the mental mistakes, for me, that are the ones that, we control. We got to be better than that.
Wrong routes or whatever.
I'm sorry?
When you're talking mentally, you're talking wrong routes or not being in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the drops. I mean, it's just like that kind of stuff is in the huddle for me is always like, hey, man, put it behind you. Let's go. Next play. Whereas, a missed assignment or something like that is more of, come on, man, we got to get it right. Like, we expect, better.
And a lot of the offseason with you and Frank, there's a lot of discussion about, like, what works for you, what doesn't work, how do you fit in, all that. Where do you think you guys are in that process? Have you guys figured most of that out, and you're just, installing what sort of works? And does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we're pretty far along in that. I feel like I feel like we put in a lot of really good work in the spring, and had a lot of really good conversations about the things I like and how they fit. It's not necessarily just what I like, but the things that I like that maybe fit how we're built and what we do. But to be honest with you, a lot of stuff they already had. You know what I mean? So it's little things here and there, and it's details. But I do feel like we're in a good place.
Well, that's really the other side of it. Like, the scheme, it predates you, right? So when you come in and you gotta start getting familiar with it, just what were your overall thoughts? I mean, just as someone who knows a lot of football and seen a lot of football, did it make a lot of sense to you to see how it could be productive? For sure. I mean, you turn on the tape from some of the things that they did in the past, and the production speaks for itself. And so, I've been in a number of different systems, and I feel like there's, bits and pieces of it. Everybody kind of has similar stuff. It's just what you put an emphasis on, and there's certainly been a lot of things, that they've done here successfully in the last handful of years that at different times throughout my career I've done a lot of it as well.
And I'm curious, a couple more. Developing chemistry at the offensive line, how much of that process is like them knowing how long they got to hold their block based on your drop and where exactly your drop is going to be, and how much of that process is going on right now? Yeah, I think, timing and rhythm, I think that's huge. And it's kind of categorizing plays, in our drops of, are we in 5-step timing? Are we in 3-step timing? Are we in 7-step timing? Those kind of things. And getting a feel for, routinely how quick the ball's out, or on the longer developing ones, we might have to hold up a little bit longer. But honestly, those guys do a great job up front. They're really well coached. They've got a good unit, great leadership from Ryan and Q, and I've been impressed with that group. How beneficial has it been to have that same group out there for the entire time.
It's huge. I really do think, and you can't control it. You never know what's going to happen with injuries and stuff like that. But, continuity on the offensive line is so big, whether it be in the run game or in pass protection. But there's really a rhythm, in the run game of combination blocking, of, double teams and knowing when to get off. And there's a feel. I say this having never done it, but I've watched it, you can see it. You can see that they have a feel for each other. And so, the more those guys, you get work next to each other, they already have a lot of time on task, a lot of these guys of working with one another. Maybe not all of it game reps, but a lot of time in practice. Danny's been here, and Matt. And so, I think they've all done a really good job up front.
Hey, thanks guys. I'm going about stuff I've never done all the time. You're good.
Yeah, let me talk to you about O-line play. That's my strength. Thanks.
So, defense, you guys feel like you have an upper hand recently, especially in pads, or what do you think?
Yes, sir. I feel like we've been coming out there doing what we have to do, man, stopping the offense, helping them get better, and helping them be the dominant offense they known to be.
How are you fitting in with the more aggressive play up front? I know you obviously you're playing the nose is a little different, but I know you guys are just attacking a lot more. How does that work for you in your position specifically, and how do you just like it generally?
So me, I'm a get off guy, and when I first came in the league, I was in the same front, and having it again just make me feel like I'm back at home. So getting off the ball, getting upfield, messing up the backfield and having fun.
Grover, what have you seen out of Eric Johnson?
Eric, he's a player, he done came a long way. When I first started meeting him, he was trying to learn and stuff like that. And now it seems like everything clicking and he done got better over the time. So
that first step, that explosion you got, it's pretty impressive, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I told him, I was like, hey, you're quick, but you ain't quicker than me yet.
In certain defensive schemes, nose can have a lot of freedom in where they want to go as far as what gaps. Do you get a little bit of that freedom with how explosive you are?
I mean, we do have that freedom, but the main gap is the A gap. So I want to set the edge right there in the middle, and that's the quicker way to the quarterback. Yes, sir.
You got unique chasing down running backs 30 yards downfield. What does that do, just that energy bring for a defensive line?
It brings a lot, man, because he running 30 yards, I'm trying to get down there with him, 30 yards, because if he punch it out, man, I want to be there to get it, and send another guy run to the ball that pushes the whole D-line, so yes, sir.
Having a defensive back like Stephon Gilmore, as sticky as he's been, how much confidence does it give you that you've got that extra second to get the quarterback?
It really make you feel free, you don't have to worry about the back end, you just do your job, have fun out there with the guys and dominate. Yes, sir.
Grover, how much of the preseason do you want to or need to play and feel like you're ready?
It really don't matter how much I play, but a couple quarters to make sure I still got it, choke some guys out, and get out of there.
Grover, what are your thoughts on fellow defensive lineman Yannick, who's coming over from the Raiders so far in camp?
Yannick is a good guy, man. He don't help the team out a lot with knowing the keys and helping the younger guys look for different things and helping us, the older guys too, though, with the scheme and everything. So Yannick, he's a good guy, and he fit right in with the defense.
Another guy who's got a lot of work sometimes with you when Buck was down was RJ McIntosh. What's it been like learning him?
Oh, RJ, he's a dog. He go get it. Nose, he'll play it. 3, he'll play it. If coach want to play in, he'll play it. So RJ, that's my dog. He gonna go get it. He done came a long way too.
When you stop the run as well as you have today, how does that make you feel at the end of the day when you think back about it, especially against this running back core?
So it make me feel great, man. I can go to my locker, sit back, kick my feet up because I done did my part.
Grover, how have you and Quiddy started playing off each other in this attacking front?
So I pretty much give Quiddy the freedom. I was like, man, anything you want to do, go ahead, because I want you to go and I'm going to eat after you. So, and we just communicate. If he feel like he could be the guy inside, I'll watch him and I'll rap outside. If he feel like he could be the guy outside, I'll just mess up the inside and we just eat like that.
How has he been in terms of just getting those rushes down and getting that communication?
Quiddy, he always been able get the quarterback and like get the rushes. So he been great on it. Yes, sir.
How's Coach Ollie been so far?
He been great, man. Young coach, man, high energy, man. He really push us and like help us. And like I always tell him, I like, hey man, I like loosen up, man. Loosen up. The defense, we got you. The defensive line gonna take care of him, and he gonna take care of us.
You gotta have him over for one of your cookouts.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring some chicken.
Yeah. All right, thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
We got Zaire. Thanks, no, you're good. I got you.
I appreciate playing like a lot of confidence. You got a lot of young veterans, a lot of experience out there. How much of a role does that play?
I just feel like, we were a really good defense last year. Obviously added some great pieces, and then obviously with just a new perspective with Coach Gus, it's really just, trying to build on everything we was last year and really becoming that elite defense. Obviously we've been talking about, making that step for the last couple of years. It's about time we really put that to the test and really do that. So I think our whole mindset when we come out there is just really be the best defense in the league every day. And I think that's just how we all, especially with 5-3 not being out there, everybody just trying to raise their level of play. So that's really just, it shows up on the practice field.
Hey, playing linebacker in this new defensive scheme, what are some of the traits that they're really looking for from you guys?
Definitely, for me, just at the mic, obviously just making all the calls, getting a lot of people right. It's a lot more elements, a lot of more formation recognition, a lot more checks and different stuff in this defense more, so it's a lot more communication on my part. But then for us, it's just being fast and physical, and obviously getting the ball out, so that's really the biggest thing. Oh yeah, I love it too. I like me. I like me. I like me.
You did real well.
Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned this defense taking the next step, like you guys have been talking about. When you guys add like a Stephon Gilmore and a Yannick, is that what's elevating you? Do you feel? I mean, they look like they've been stars out there for you guys on the field and off.
Oh, for sure. Obviously with Gilly being out there, he's just, a star and stuff. He raised the level to play and the expectations of everybody in that DB room. Him and Kenny, and then obviously having Face and those guys coming over from the staff with last year. Then Yannick, he just brings that energy, that hustle, that dog mentality, that we already play with. He just like he ride along. So those guys, they really just add to the mentality that we really already have. I think, Chris and Frank do a great job of when they bring free agents in, their personalities, how they like to play and how they go about things is already so much like the guys that's already in the building. It's always such a seamless fit. I don't really think it's been too many guys that we signed that like just personality-wise and play style-wise just didn't really mesh with everybody that was already here. So.
Have you been mostly playing Mike with the three out?
Yes, sir.
When he's back, do you expect to stay there and shift to Sam?
When he comes back, I expect the best two linebackers to play. So, when he plays, just making sure I'm on the field. So that's all that matters.
So there's not like 90 guys out here. A lot of them are going to make this roster or be a special team. For some of you did, obviously, when you were a rookie. What do they have to do well to separate themselves this time of year to ensure that they're on the roster week 1?
Yeah, when you a guy that's really trying to stand out, first of all, I would just say take advantage of all your opportunities. When you're a young guy, reps are very limited. Right now everybody's worried about getting the starters ready, getting the guys that they know are going to be there ready. So you may only get, I remember my second year I was getting 2 team reps every other team period. So I'm like, if I only get a team, ain't no way I'm a loaf. And every time I'm out there, I got to make a play. Like, they got to know I was at practice today, and even when it comes to, special teams, most of that stuff is just always knowing your assignment. We professionals, it's not college. Nobody cares, how much is on you. Know your job. And I think knowing your job and doing it with great intensity and great effort is always going to separate yourself. So just taking advantage of opportunities and then just always being on your P's and Q's and, doing that will definitely separate yourself.
One of those you kind of hit on something there. You've had to earn your way.
For sure.
You came in from the bottom. And how much has that kind of formed the player you have become now? Because you are playing a lot more, but your attitude hasn't changed.
Yeah, I just think it gives me that appreciation for where I am now, just knowing the journey that I've been on. Like I said, I came from getting every other team I was getting reps. So how I'm going to complain I'm on a 15-play drive? You know what I mean? Because I remember being on the sideline wishing I was getting those reps. So, just always being grateful for the journey and always knowing that, I'm inspiring other guys that, they're on them bottom roster guys to let them know, like, look, this is what you achieve if you put the work in the same way, Kenny Moore did it for me, watching Kenny, come from special teams, cut guy to, best corner, best nickel in the league. Even Pierre Desir and all those other guys that came in that really inspired me. So I'm just paying it forward like they did for me.
One of those young guys that's flashed a ton for us so far is JoJo Doman. What have you seen out of that guy so far?
Yeah, I like JoJo. JoJo know how to show up, and I think that's a big thing for him. Obviously, young guy just trying to get his bearings down, but he's done a good job of picking up the defense, playing fast and, trying to make the plays that come to him. Obviously, all the young guys got a ways to go, and, it really shows up when the preseason games happen for the young guys. This is just practice, but you got to learn how to make them plays in the game. But I like JoJo so far. He's sitting next to me in meetings. I be trying to chop it up with him and try to give him as much game as I can. So, yeah, JoJo been making plays.
How much preseason do you need, do you think? How much action?
Come on now, you're trying to get me in trouble. Here you go. I mean, me personally, last year, after I made the big hit in Carolina, I felt like I was cool. I ain't need to play no more. But, I do understand, just getting your wind up. A 15-play drive in practice is not the same as in a game setting when you really have to run, make a tackle, come back to spot the ball. Like, when it's really officiating and it's not just, jump off sides, all right, let's just line it up again. No, so it's a lot different, again, in the flow of game. For myself personally, definitely affects it. But I know Coach Frank and, Rusty and all of them are going to put a good plan in together for all the guys.
As a linebacker, especially how important run fits are and everything, how difficult is it to find that balance between, filling your gap, executing that, and then making a play?
I think it's just, knowing when to take your shot, you know what I'm saying? You take it and make it. If you take it, you make it. I mean, a lot of times, you want to be aggressive. We're not robots out there. The game ain't written up on a blackboard, just do this, and if that was the case, then the smartest coaches would always win.
Football versus real football.
Exactly, but also understand that if you take your shot, you better make that play. And I think that just comes with trusting your teammates. When you know you got dogs around you that's gonna make up for you, like you that confidence that like, look, I could go shoot this, I could backside that because I know Grove gonna overlap and he gonna do this, and I know Yannick gonna set the edge. And if it all fails, I know Julian gonna clean it up in the back end. So just knowing, and that's just team defense. Defense is just a team sport, so a team game. So that's why I love playing. So.
Hey, that was great.
Thank you, Zeke.
Thank you.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, was the presser after Sunday's August 7th sold out practice for training camp for the Indianapolis Colts, the media presser. Guys, do not miss any sports update for your Indianapolis Colts here on Bleav in Colts, brought to you by Bet Online. And as usual, have a good one. Go Colts.
Do you believe?